J. Cantu.
Hello, Highlander fans, and welcome to post-season baseball here this afternoon. We are at Larry Drown Field. That would be the home of the Klein Forest Eagles for the road to the championship that starts here this afternoon. And for the Highlanders, everything that we built over the regular season is now going to get tested. 22 wins, battle-tested in 13-6A, sharpened by rivalry baseball, and coming off a season finale that felt like a lot like a playoff atmosphere game that went extra innings, big swings, layered pitching, and pressure moments. Now the stakes rise. There are no second chances in the postseason. Every pitch matters. Every out matters. Every moment gets bigger. The Highlander club enters with stars, depth, Cash Clayton's explosiveness, Cruz Romo's run production, Jack Schmeckel's big game edge, and the pitching staff that may be peaking at exactly the right time. This is where good seasons try to become memorable ones. This is where playoff runs begin. The postseason, it's here. The Highlanders are ready. And first pitch is next, presented by Kacher Dentistry.
Highlander Nation, are you ready for your next dental appointment? Kacher Dentistry covers all the bases. We're located in the Woodlands, Texas, and proud supporters of Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry is a dual specialist dental office dedicated to compassionate, high-quality care. Their practice is unique because they have two separate sides of the office, one for pediatric and one for adult dentistry, so the entire family can be seen in one visit. Give us a call at 281-292-1605. Again, that's 281-292.
And we're going to get started here a little early. 4:26 is going to be your timer record for first pitch from Cash Clayton is on the way and misses outside for ball one. Again, we're here at Larry Drown Field, the home of the Klein Forest Eagles. Lots of memories, lots of times here at this good old complex I've had over the years as a scout and instructor and coach. And a ground ball back to Clayton for out number 1, and we're off and rolling by Arturo Mata and out number 1 as we are rolling and going here in the top of the first inning in this game 1 of 2 here at Klein Forest as we are entering the UIL playoffs, round 1 by district series between the Highlanders and the MacArthur Generals. First pitch from Clayton to Adrian Castillo is on the outside corner for called strike 1. And fastball misses down and away for ball 1 to even it up at 1-1. Scoreless if you're just joining us. We are prohibited from showing video of this game, but we do have a nice stat cast running for you this afternoon so you can see our defensive alignments for the Highlanders. We'll also have who's at the plate for you as you can sit back, enjoy, and listening to good old me, the voice of the Highlanders, Jason Greer, bringing you all the action live here on the Highlander Sports Network, and that's in there for strike 2 from Cash Clayton to take the count to 1-2. 1 out here in the inning. And nobody on. We're scoreless. Got started a little early, about 5 minutes early. We got some weather out there making some noise. I don't know if it's going to make it into the area as that one misses outside to run the count to 2-2. And the pitch from Clayton, that's beat into the turf. Big bouncer to Schmeckel at short, shows the arm and throws a strike to first just in time for out number 2 here in the first inning. So a couple of ground balls from Clayton. You definitely like to see that from him, pitching to contact, keeping the pitch count low, working the ball on the ground, and letting the defense do their job. As we do have some changes around the diamond for you. Kind of take a look at that. Johan Fernandez moves from second to third, and Sawyer Banks gets the call at second base today for the Highlanders. Other than that, it's the usual suspects out there for your Highlanders. And first pitch misses for a ball. And Jai Cantu at the plate. And swung on and high in the air on the infield. Fernandez calling for it. Schmeckel calls him off and takes that catch right behind the mound for out number 3. And that gets us through the top of the first. We move to the bottom of the first here with the Highlanders due up. This is Highlander Sports Network. And welcome back to Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Eagles neutral site location for game 1 of 2. We got 2 here today. Game 2 will follow about 30 minutes after this, so sometime around 6:30, 7 o'clock will be game 2. Game 1, we got started about 5 minutes early. They're starting this whole series early because of the weather that's moving in later tonight and tomorrow and all day Friday, all day Saturday. So we have a lot of teams hunting for places to play over the weekend if they don't get these games in the next couple of days with the weather that's coming in from the north. DFW areas has gotten hammered the last couple of days, and that's heading our direction. So for the MacArthur Generals, kind of running around the field for you, you got behind the plate, Galiendo behind the plate on the mound, Jai Cantu. At third base is going to be Adrian Mata. At shortstop, Artimo Mata. At second base, Adrian Castillo. And around the outfield, Juan Vasquez in left, Cameron Mott in right, and Andre Andres Garcia is in center, and over at first base is Robert Torres. And for the Highlanders tonight, their lineup at the top, Bryson Bourne is in right, Cruz Romo in the 2 holes at first base, Jack Schmeckel is at shortstop. He'll probably get the call on the mound in game 2. Cash Clayton's your pitcher. He's in the 4 hole. Chase Bradley on the plate. He's in the 5 hole. Sawyer Banks gets the call at second base today. Cash McQuarter out in left, and David Jurisic gets the call as a designated hitter. And Johan Fernandez moves over to third for game number 1 here. And we are ready to go for the top of the first. Bryson Bourne, that's the son of Michael Bourne, former Astro, Cleveland Indian, drafted out of the University of Houston, as he steps in from the right-hand side of the plate. And first pitch from Cantu is a curveball, catches the outside corner on the back door for strike number 1. Bourne's been swinging a hot bat of late. Had an 8-game hitting streak going earlier. Got the average up close to 500 on the season, and swings and puts that one on the ground to the third baseman. Mata, and a throw in time gets the speedy Bourne for out number 1. And going to bring up Cruz Romo, first baseman for your Highlanders, and brother of Drew Romo, who had himself a heck of a night last night for the White Sox. He got called up over the weekend, hits a homer from the left-hand side, turns around, hits a homer from the right-hand side. First time that has been done in several years. And I believe that was Lance Barkman was the last person to do that at the big league level, and Big Brother did that last night for the White Sox. Romo from the left side swings at the first pitch, fouls it down the left field line for strike number 1. One out in the inning. We're scoreless here, bottom of 1. And the 0-1 to Romo. And he foul tips the curveball on the inside corner to take it to 0-2. Generals are in the black and red tops, red numbers, black tops, trimmed in white pants. The Highlanders are in their road grays, unusual for being the home team. But they'll have the road unis on. I guess that's for game 2. Trimmed in red. And the 0-2 on the way from Cantu. And swings and misses over the top of an inside fastball. I had a little cutter action on that. He ran it in on the hands, and down goes Romo for the strikeout. Brings up the senior, Jack Schmeckel, shortstop. University of Texas commit, swinging it from the right side for the Highlanders. 3-year starter for the Woodlands. And very likely your starter for game 2. And that swung on down the right field line on the ground to the first baseman, Torres. He handles it and steps on the bag, and we got a quick bottom of the first, so we got a quick first in general. That takes us to the top of the second. We're scoreless. This is the Highlander Sports Network.
Highlander Nation, are you ready for your next dental appointment? Kacher Dentistry covers all the bases. We're located in the Woodlands, Texas, and proud supporters of Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry is a dual specialist dental office dedicated to compassionate, high-quality care. Their practice is unique because they have 2 separate sides of the office, one for pediatric and one for adult dentistry, so the entire family can be seen in one visit. Give us a call at 281-292-1605. Again, that's 281-292-1605. Or visit www.txhsbsb.com to schedule your next appointment. And be sure to mention Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry, a home run for the whole family.
And back live here at Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Golden Eagles, for game 1 of the bi-district round between the MacArthur Generals and your Highlanders. Cash Clayton on the mound for the Highlanders. Again, didn't really get a chance to set the defense for you a little bit earlier, but we do have that on our Diamond Cast, Highlander Sports Network. We're debuting that for you here this year for the playoffs. As you could read there at the bottom, due to restrictions, we are not allowed to provide video for basically the rest of the way, all the way hopefully to Round Rock. We'll be calling these games for you just like this. Like they say, I got a face for radio, not TV anyway, so glad to be here with you. This is Jason Greer, the voice of your Highlanders, and we are ready to go here in the second inning as Adrian Mata leading things off for the Generals, swinging it from the left side. Third baseman for the Generals. Have an opportunity to watch him play the last couple years. He's been on varsity for several now. And that's on there for the outside corner to even it up at 1-1. Just off the outside edge, takes it to 2-1. As Clayton working from the stretch with nobody on and no outs. And that is swung on and lifted high down the left field line and out of play for strike 2. Clayton, only a junior, 3-year starter for the Highlanders, came up as a freshman and made a big impact in his first game. The 2-2 on the way and misses off the outside corner to run the count full at 3-2 on Mata. The scouting report on Mata, he's pretty much the most dangerous hitter in the lineup while he's sitting at 4. And the payoff pitch swung on and fouled straight back over the screen to keep the count full at 3-2. He's making Clayton work. He's fouling off the tough pitches, staying in there. Dangerous hitter, slim build, stands in, little waggle of the bat, and curveball, slider, swings and fouls it into the screen to keep it at 3-2. Great pitch from Clayton, and better attempt by Mata to foul it off and stay alive in the bat. And Clayton set at the belt, the wind to kick the pitch is fastball off the outside corner, and that's a walk to Mata for the first base runner of the afternoon here for the Generals. Brings up Juan Vasquez, left fielder for the Generals. He steps in with no outs and a runner at first. Highlanders defensively have him shaded just a tad to the left side. Runner takes off. They show bunt. They're running on Bradley. The throw is just not in time as he was stealing on a move. It was more of like a fake bunt and steal play that they put on as the hitter Vasquez squared around just enough to get in the way of the catcher Bradley and allow Mata to take second on the stolen base. So now the Generals have a runner at second and nobody out with Juan Vasquez at the plate, swinging from the left side. He's got an upright stance and a move to check on the runner. A little inside spin move by Clayton, and nothing happening there, as I would expect maybe possibly a bunt here. Fernandez up tight on the infield. Romo charging. He does show bunt, gets it down the third baseline, but foul. Takes the count to 1-1 with no outs and a runner at second. See if he's going to bunt it again. Does. Squares around, gets it down, taps it right off the plate, and one hop by Bradley and fires a strike down to first, and the sacrifice is complete. Moves Mata up to third with one out as the Generals are chasing the analytics here. Get you that first run, gives you that 60-some-odd% chance of winning the ball game, the team that scores first. So one out, the Highlanders are going to bring the infield in tight with Cameron Mott, the right fielder, at the plate, batting from the left side. Clayton set the kick and check swing, and it was a strike called anyways. He evens it up at 1-1. So Torres swinging from the left side, has the bat held close to the chest. A little bit of a waggle, slightly open, and he swings at the fastball on the outside corner and fouls it straight back into the screen for strike 2. Runs the count to 1-2 with one out and a runner at third. The Highlanders are playing to take the out at home on the infield. And the pitch is fastball high and outside. Runs the count to 2-2. As the Generals early in the game, 1 out, are threatening to push the first run across. And a big swing and a miss. And down goes Mott on the strikeout, and that's a big, big out for Clayton. Infield retreats back with 2 outs and a runner at third now. And brings up the first baseman, Robert Torres, for the Generals. And fastball center cut right down the middle. He takes that for strike 1. Torres swinging it from the right side. 2 outs and a runner at third. That's Mata. Reached on a walk, stole second. And a check swing on the big 12-6 curveball. And he is down 0-2 with 2 outs. Now Torres in a spot where he's going to have to battle back in the count to get a fastball. He's going to see a lot of soft stuff here the next couple of pitches. See if Clayton can be precise. Fastball on, and it's on the ground, on the hard to Schmeckel. The one-hopper throw to Romo digs it out. And the runner stranded at third. Clayton works through a little bit of traffic. But that's going to get us to the bottom of the second. We're scoreless here at Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Golden Eagles. Round 1 of the playoffs on Highlander Sports Network. And here we go, moving on, moving fast. We move to the bottom of the second. It's going to be Cash, Clayton, Chase, Bradley, Sawyer Banks for the Highlanders in their half of the second. Clayton steps in as we are scoreless. We are also hitless through 1.5 innings. Count 2 out for out, inning number 2. And a fastball right there at the knees for a called strike 1 to Cash Clayton. Cantu, the lefty, working from the windup. He's all the way to the first base side of the rubber, a little crossfire action. And that one is off the outside corner for ball 1. That's going to square it up at 1-1 on Clayton. Cantu has the glove at the chest, gets his sign. The wind, the kick, the pitch on the way is swung on and fouled towards the Highlander dugout for strike 2. Takes it to 1-2. Clayton has had himself a fantastic offensive year for the Highlanders. At one point, he was leading in every offensive category until Chase Bradley, Bryson Bourne got hot at the plate, chased him down, and the 1-2 almost hits him on the elbow and runs the count to 2-2. Clayton, a fantastic two-way play for the Highlanders. He'll be out in center field most likely in game 2. And Cantu stares in, glove up on the face. And big kick, the pitch is in the dirt. Runs the count full at 3-2. Scoreless here at Larry Drown Stadium. Partly cloudy day. It is thick, muggy, and as humid as it could get here in South Texas. And the pitch on the way gets way around that curveball. Just got it into the palm of his hand and spun it into the left-handed batter's box. And that's going to be a walk for Cash Clayton, the first base runner of the afternoon here for the Highlanders with nobody out. And brings up the catcher, Chase Bradley, who's been on absolute fire the last several weeks for the Highlanders. He's one of our players to spotlight, as he's been punishing pitchers left and right all over the field, driving the ball gap to gap, up the middle. And we have courtesy runner. It's going to be Ben Gordley off the bench for the Highlanders. And first pitch from Cantu is a fastball on the outer third for a called strike one. Cantu working from the stretch, still to that far side, first base side of the rubber, working that crossfire action, coming from a low three-quarter slot, and bounces a slider in the dirt off the turf. Evens the count at 1-1 on Bradley. So one of the reasons you'll see Cantu pitcher take that side is they love to take that. They'll cut themselves off, go to that low arm angle. And Gordley was leaning and just missed being picked off at first base. Awfully close. Too close for comfort. As hopefully the Highlander dugout was paying attention to that move. And you can tell Coach Eastman has looked to the dugout and said, "Are you guys paying attention to that? That's a move." And that was his A move, as he almost had Gordley dead to left at first. The pitch on the way, gets around the curveball, misses way outside again, and takes the count to 2-1. Is he struggling getting a grip on the curveball? You kind of wonder, is that the humidity, the sweat, the moisture, as he's having a hard time getting on top of that pitch. That's about the third time he's done that here this inning. The 2-1 on the way. That is swung on and past a diving Mata at third. And Bradley stays hot with another single to the left-hand side. And the first hit of the game comes off the bat of Chase Bradley here in the second. Puts runners at first and second for the Highlanders. And nobody out here in the second. And it's going to bring up Sawyer Banks, second baseman. He gets the call on the infield for the Highlanders here today. Had a big solo blast to get the Highlanders on the board in that game against Oak Ridge on Friday. Has a lot of power, gap-to-gap type of hitter. Steps in on the right-hand side of the box. Cantu taking a look at the situation he has with runners at first and second. He is set at the belt. And the pitch on the way is swung on and tapped foul at the plate for strike one to Banks. As he's having to work around a walk and a single. And this is a situation where Banks puts one in the gap, moves runners up, and this could turn into a big inning for the Highlanders. The 0-1 to Banks, swung on to the right side. That's going to get through the infield. And here comes the runner as the ball is bobbled in the outfield, and Gordley going to be there safe. And the courtesy runner takes third on the throw all the way to home, as Mott missed his cutoff man, and that's going to allow the courtesy runner for Bradley move all the way up to third. So a single for Banks, and he keeps things rolling with no outs. And that's going to bring up the lefty Cash McWhorter. So first and third for the Highlanders. Pitch on the way. That is swung on high. Chopper to Mata at third. His only play is the first. The throw is high. And it looks like McWhorter would have beat that anyways from the left side. So a couple of singles here, and the Highlanders are in business. 2 runs on the board. And they've taken a 2-0 lead with no outs here in the bottom of the second. A single by Bradley, a single by Banks, and a single by McWhorter has runners at first and second for the Highlanders with nobody out. Brings up David Jurisic. He's going to be your designated hitter this evening for the Highlanders. And that is swung on first pitch high in the air to right field. Mott giving chase, settles, makes the catch. And Banks fakes a tag and stays put at second. So out number 1 here in the second inning, as Jurisic flies out to right field and brings up the third baseman, Johan Fernandez, for the Highlanders with 1 out and runners at first and second. And Bryson Bourne on deck. Cantu checks a runner at second. The pitch on the way. That is a big swing and a miss by Fernandez for strike 1. So Cantu with the glove up underneath the armpit. Checks in with Galendo. Gets his sign. He is set at the belt. And the kick, the 0-1, is a slider in the dirt. And evens it up at 1-1. Cantu set at the belt. The 1-1 on the way. Shows bunt, gets it down. Cantu gets to it on a slide, pops and throws, not in time. He throws it down the line into the outfield. That's going to get 1 run in. It gets all the way down into the corner. Mott chasing it. That's going to get 2 runs in, and Fernandez is going to end up at third. That's going to be an infield single on the bunt by Fernandez, and a 2-bag throwing error on the pitcher, Cantu. And the Highlanders have jumped out, as I just said a minute ago. This could turn into a big inning if Cantu doesn't watch what's going on. And real quickly, the Highlanders have a 4-0 lead here in the second inning. Back to the top of the order, and Bryson Bourne swings and loops one out into right field in front of the right fielder, Mott, and picks up the RBI, Fernandez. And so Bourne with a single and an RBI, and the Highlanders have jumped out to a 5-0 lead here. And brings up Cruz Romo with still only 1 out and a runner at first. Romo struck out back in the first. And curveball way outside for ball 1 to Romo. As Romo stands in, swinging it from the left side. Slightly open stance, has the bat up around the shoulders with the hands, and here's the pitch. His fastball catches the inside corner at the knees for strike 1. Evens it up at 1-1. 5-0, Bryson Bourne with speed. Be a challenge, see what Cantu does if he's checking on him. Looks, and a big curveball and a bigger swing from Romo, and he swings over the top of it for strike 2. Runs it to 1-2. Bourne with a sizable lead at first. And here's the 1-2. Down in the dirt. And great read by Bourne. He saw the knees go down. He takes off. He has second easily as he moves up into scoring position with 1 out here and a 2-2 count. Bourne, a varsity football player as well. Has the speed in the DNA, the genes from his dad. Swings the bat just like the old man as well. Romo at the plate. The 2-2 on the way. Big swing and a miss as Romo had trouble getting to the curveball and struck out. That's the second strikeout for Romo, and out number 2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second brings up the University of Texas commit, Jack Schmeckel, 2-way player for the Highlanders, heading up to play for Coach Slosh next season. Future Longhorn. 2 outs and the pitch on the way. Curveball misses on the outside corner for ball 1. Schmeckel, tremendous power. Pull side power. Can drive the ball to the right center gap as well. outfield's a little shallow. He puts one in the gap, and they're in trouble. And fastball just off the outside corner. Runs it to 2-0. It's a good spot where Schmeckel needs to hunt his pitch right here in his location. Wind blowing out to left center. The recipe is there, and a try to pick off Bourne at second. Bounces off the shortstop. Mata's glove. And keeps the count at 2-0 as Cantu stares in, glove under the armpit. He's set at the belt. The 2-0 on the way. And almost, or he does hit him just in the back knee. And that's going to be a dead ball as Bourne was taken off on the pitch. He's going to have to go back to second. And that's going to be a hit by pitch for Schmeckel. And we're back to the top of the order, or to the leadoff hitter for this inning, and Cash Clayton. So 10 hitters to the plate for the Highlanders here. Have runners at first and second now with 2 outs. Clayton walked to start the inning.
Take a look at second. Bourne with the speed out there. Takes a pretty big lead, trying to hide behind the umpire.
The pitch to Clayton is a curveball, misses down and in for ball 1. As the Highlanders have opened this thing up here in the second with a 5-0 lead over the Generals.
Got a lot of clouds in the area.
Cantu running the pitch count up, and a check on Bourne that gets away and out to the outfield, but Garcia there to back it up, and Bourne stays at second.
Also there with Mata, excuse me, with Castillo, and was not able to advance.
So 2 outs here in the fifth. In the second, Highlanders leading 5-0. Bryson Bourne's at second. Jack Schmeckel's at first. Cash Clayton at the plate, looking to tack on to that 5-0 lead. The pitch on the way, swung on, and down the third baseline, foul for strike 2. And the winner, so this game gets the winner of the Bridgeland Cy Woods game in round 2 next week. And it's typical South Texas. We get that playoff baseball starts and the monsoon season kicks in. The pitch on the way is center cut right there for a called fastball. Runs the count to 1-2 on Cash Clayton, the pitcher for the Highlanders, as he has gotten himself a nice 5-0 lead to work with. He's looking to extend it. And the 1-2 from Cantu on the way. Misses off the outside corner with the breaking ball, and that's going to square it up at 2-2. So Deuces on the board at 2-2 and 2 outs. Not sure if Cantu wants to go any further because the next 4 hitters after Clayton have all gotten singles off of him. And the 2-2 on the way. That is out towards the left center gap as he just sticks the bat out there. Great job by Garcia to cut it off. Bourne scores. And Schmeckel is going to get the stop sign at third. And the Highlanders now have a 6-0 lead on a single by Cash Clayton. So he picks up an RBI. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Chase Bradley, with 2 outs and runners on the corners now.
And this second inning continues for the Woodlands.
As Cantu's having to labor through the second. They're up 6-0.
Couple of errors involved in there as well, but
ladies and gentlemen, if you're missing a debit or credit card, we have it down at the ticket taker box. If you're missing your credit or debit card, it is down at the ticket taker box.
So runners on the corner for the Highlanders. Chase Bradley at the plate. Swinging from the right side, Cantu on the mound. And no action down in the Generals bullpen. They're going to let him work through this second. And the Highlanders have scored 6 on a couple of errors and some singles here in this second. Bradley steps in. Cantu set at the belt. The pitch. Swings over the top of a changeup for strike 1. Nice little pitch there by Cantu. If I'm him, I'm ditching the curveball and going to that. That's some nice diving action. Looked like more like a dead fish to the outside corner to the righties. And the 0-1's on the way. Runner takes off. The throw goes through and bounces off the shortstop Mata. And that's going to allow Schmeckel to come in and score. And so now it's 7-0. As Clayton takes second base, or that's Ben Gordley, the courtesy runner, excuse me. And so 7 runs across here in the second. The Highlanders up 7-0 with a runner at second and 2 outs. Bradley at the plate with 2 strikes. And the 0-2 to Bradley is on the way. That is swung on and lifted out towards center. And Garcia to the right center side of the outfield runs it down and makes the catch in time for out number 3. But the Highlanders send 11 hitters up to the plate. They push 7 across and lead 7-0 as we move to the top of the third here at Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Eagles. This is the Highlanders Sports Network. And so here we go. Highlanders put up a 7 spot here in the second, lead 7-0 over the MacArthur Generals. They're the 2 seed out of 14 6A down. That's primarily made up of Aldine schools, Eisenhower, Aldine, Nimitz, Ben Davis is in there, and then you got a couple of the spring schools, Spring and Decaney. And I believe Willis is pulled Decaney, and I think they're about to get underway here this evening. Here shortly, you catch that game on our sister network, Houston Sports Live. They'll have all the action for you. And then you have Oak Ridge pulled Spring, and I think they don't get started until tomorrow in that Division II bracket. And the Grand Oaks Grizzlies are in the same bracket here with the Highlanders. They're the 2 seed in the Division I. So Andreas Garcia, the center fielder, is going to lead things off for the Generals here in the 3rd inning. So top of the 3rd. Clayton out for inning number 3 with a 7-0 lead to work with. And first pitch is a fastball, and he blows it by Garcia for strike 1. There's a point where if you're Clayton, you just pound the zone and put it in play. And that one's down the middle. Must have been a little high. Misses to even it up at 1-1. Clayton working from the stretch with nobody on, and the pitch on the way. Fastball is swung on and blasted foul into the screen for strike 2. Definitely late on that pitch. I don't think there's really any reason to throw anything besides that. They're not going to square that up as Clayton is set the 1-2 on the way. And he goes to a little slider, misses down and away for ball 1. Clayton with the sign. He's set at the belt. The 2-2 on the way. And swings over the top of a slider. Strikes him out for out number 1 here in the 3rd.
The catcher, number 21, Jaden Galindo.
The catcher, Jaden Galindo, making his way to the plate for the Generals with 1 out, nobody on. And the Highlanders leading 7-0 as they sent 11 hitters up to the plate in the 2nd and singled Cantu to death. He threw in a couple of errors, and things got out of control real fast for the Generals. Swung on. That's out towards left. MacArthur on the run makes a diving backhand catch in the outfield for out number 2. What a play by Cash MacArthur out in left field, showing off the athleticism with a backhand catch as it was sinking to the ground on the low liner for out number 2. And if you're Coach Eastman, Coach Graves, you got to like what you're seeing from Clayton, the efficiency. He's around the zone, he's pitching the contact, and their defense is making the plays. 2 outs big, swing and a miss on the sweeper for strike 1. Back to the top of the order, and Arturo Mata, and that is fouled straight back on the curveball into the screen for strike 2. Mata grounded, had that big bouncing tapper back to Clayton in the first to lead the game off. And fastball right there on the outside corner, and he rings him up as he's down looking for out number 3. That takes us to the bottom of the third here at Larry Drown Field with the Highlanders leading 7-0. This is the Highlanders Sports Network, Texas High School Baseball. It's playoff time.
Highlander Nation, are you ready for your next dental appointment? txhsbsb Dentistry covers all the bases. We're located in the Woodlands, Texas, and proud supporters of Highlanders baseball. txhsbsb Dentistry is a dual specialist dental office dedicated to compassionate, high-quality care. Their practice is unique because they have 2 separate sides of the office, one for pediatric and one for adult dentistry, so the entire family can be seen in one visit. Give us a call at 281-292-1605. Again, that's 281-292-1605. Or visit www.txhsbsb.com to schedule your next appointment. And be sure to mention Highlanders baseball. txhsbsb Dentistry, a home run for the whole family.
And welcome back to Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Golden Eagles. Here they're hosting the first round for the bi-district showdown between the Woodlands Highlanders and the MacArthur Generals. Highlanders have jumped out to a 7-0 lead. And Cantu out for another inning of work, as that misses for ball 1 to Sawyer Banks. Banks gets the call today at second base. A little change in the lineup for the Highlanders. The wind, the kick, the pitch on the way, and got Banks to expand the zone and chase a curveball for strike 1 and even up at 1-1. Cantu, and the pitch on the way. Misses down and in with the curveball. Runs it to 2-1. Banks with that big home run against the War Eagles on Friday, get us all on the board. And misses outside with the fastball. Runs it to 3-1. He's out there nibbling on the corners, trying to get the Highlanders to expand the zone. And the 3-1 is an intentional check swing, catches it off the knob for strike 2. And the payoff pitch on the way from Cantu. That's on the ground to the shortstop, Mata. He takes a big hop, and the throw is in time for out number 1. So here in the third, out number 1 on the ground ball from Banks. And it's going to bring up Cash McWhorter. And McWhorter at the plate, swinging it from the left side for your Highlanders. First pitch is a big 12-6 curveball. He drops it in there for a called strike. The wind, the kick, the 0-1 as he tried to work the inside corner and backdoor that curveball and misses for ball 2. Evens it up at 1-1. One did here in the inning, and here's the pitch that is swung on and down into right field between the first and second baseman for a single. And Cash McWhorter on base for the second time today. And another single for him. He's 2 for 2 on the day. He's going to bring up David Jurisic with 1 out and 1 out and a runner at first. Fastball misses high and inside for ball 1 to Jurisic. Jurisic designated hitter today. He's hitting for Jack Fuller, who is defensively in center field for the Highlanders. And the pitch, another big 12-6 curveball. He's trying to nibble on that backdoor corner to the righties and doesn't get it. Takes it to 2-0. One out in the inning. Cash McWhorter at first. He singled to the right side. The kick, the 2-0, down and in with the curveball again. Almost hits Jurisic on the back foot for ball 3. Runs it to 3-0 on Jurisic. McWhorter with us working his lead. And the pitch on the way. His fastball misses below the knees for a 4-pitch walk to Jurisic. And the Highlanders have 2 on here in the third. Brings up Fernandez with 1 out and runners at first and second for the Highlanders. Fernandez with a single. He punched 1 out to over the second baseman's head for a base hit. Came around to score. Cantu set the pitch. Swung on and fouled to the right side for strike 1. One down in the inning. Runners at first and second for the Highlanders. Cash McWhorter at second. David Jurisic is at first. Bourne on deck. He reaches and Romo. And another check on McWhorter at second. As the Highlanders are looking to 3 more, hang in there for a couple more innings and have a little dinner snack, and then game 2 will be 30 minutes following game 1. As the Highlanders, the coaches between these 2 teams agreed to try to knock these 2 out in 1 and avoid the impending weather that's coming at us tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. A lot of the schools around the Houston area have converted to turf, except for Conroe ISD. So a lot of the schools, except for Grand Oaks has turf. And so trying to find a neutral site with turf and a team that's already not in the playoffs was a difficult task. That's how we landed up here at Klein Force, Larry Drown Field. Lots of days out there on this field for me. The Houston Heat was born here back in the early 2000s, and Fernandez shows 1-1. He puts a bunt down with the third baseman playing deep, and a smart play by Fernandez. It's the second time he's done that, and he is on with a base hit, infield base hit for Fernandez, and that's going to load him up for Bryson Bourne. And he singled in the second, and he grounded to the third baseman in the third, as that's going to get Coach Dufresne out of the dugout and have a conversation with his youngster here. And it looks like this is going to be it for him as he heads to the dugout. And we're going to have a pitching change. Looks like the third baseman is going to come in, and that is Mata is going to come in. Cantu, it's like his day is done. And we'll get these changes for you as a bench player is going to come in and enter the game at third base. So Adrian Mata, third baseman, moves from third to the mound. And we'll settle these down for you and come back as this pitching change brought to you by Kacher Dentistry. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. Okay, so Mata from third to the mound. Bryson Bourne's going to be your hitter as he finishes winding up his warm-up pitches. So Mata, a right-hander. So started a lefty in Cantu. They're going to the righty out of the bullpen, and the Highlanders 7-0 lead. Bases loaded and one out. Top of the order, it's going to be Bourne and Romo. Anybody reaches, then Schmeckel. A big hit here, a grand slam here, and the Highlanders will be in the driver's seat to end this thing in 5. As the mercy rule will kick in once they hit that 10th run. So bases are juiced for the Highlanders. One out in the inning. Bryson Bourne at the plate. And Mata leaning over, ball in hand. Ball in, swings on the curveball and just misses by putting that one out there in the outfield and running for days for strike one. The Generals have drawn the infield in. They're playing for the out at the plate. Outfield playing shallow. Bourne gets one over the head of the center fielder, and he might have himself an inside the park home run with his speed. And misses for ball one. Evens it up at 1-1. Only one out in the inning. Pond is full of Highlanders. The 1-1 on the way. Bounces it in the dirt. Runs it to 2-1 on Bourne. Bourne taps the plate with the bat. A little warm-up swing. And the 2-1 on the way. He floats a changeup in there for 2-2. Gets the call. Highlanders are definitely going to have to start thinking right center gap. You got to start thinking right field, and you're going to start pulling balls into the left center gap. And foul tips that one towards the Highlander dugout to keep it at 2-2. You have to change your approach up a little bit. You're going to have to start thinking opposite field. And in that process, you'll let the ball travel but you'll still be fast. And if you can think right center, that'll put you more towards the left side of left center. And the 2-2 on the way from Cantu. Big curveball and tips it again. And then right off the mask of Galindo to keep it at 2-2.
Tough situation here. Coming in with bases loaded, but not only bases loaded, but having to face the top of the lineup.
So 1 out. The 2-2 on the way. Curveball bounces it into the left-handed batter's box. Runs a count to 3-2 on Bourne. So a full count on Bourne with 1 out. Bases loaded. Mata with the glove on his chest. Stares in, gets the sign. The pitch on the way. Swung in a loopy curveball and fouls it into the screen and keeps it at 3-2. Bourne just trying to keep the line moving at first base. Kind of turned into a Looney Tunes game here. Bugs Bunny on the mound, if you know the movie. And that is up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to get 2 in. Jurisic scores. McWhorter scores. The throw goes to third and not in time. And the throw is going to allow Bourne to head on up to second. So another single for Bourne. He's 2 for 3 today. Picks up 2 RBIs as Fernandez ends up at third. McWhorter comes in to score. Jurisic comes in to score. And it's now 9-0 Highlanders. And Cruz Romo at the plate. And still only 1 out and runners at second and third. Romo, a couple of strikeouts. Looking to get himself a hit. And that's called a strike. Not sure. I think that was a mercy strike if I had to call one. That ball was way off the plate and way low. I think the umpire is just trying to help the kiddos out here. And the 0-1 down and in, that's a ball. Evens it up at 1-1. Romo coming off the IL, was down, missed the game Friday against the War Eagles. Back in the lineup, trying to find the rhythm. The 1-1 swung on and fouled down the left field side for strike 2. That's always kind of tough. You take a couple of days off, the energy level drops, you're not feeling well. You come back and you're trying to ramp it back up, but you want to ramp it up back too fast and have a relapse. Mata is set, the 1-2. Curveball bounces off the dirt, but he gives him the call anyways. I think that was I'm ready for game 2 call is what that was.
How about in shortstop, number 11, Jack Schmeckel.
And that's going to bring up Jack Schmeckel. So 2 down. Highlanders up 9-0. And Schmeckel at the plate. The UT commit. And takes a fastball down and bounces off home plate for ball 1. The 1-0 from Mata. Curveball misses way outside. Runs it to 2-0. Fernandez at third, Bourne at second. And fastball misses down and away. Runs a count to 3-0 on Schmeckel. This is a fantastic spot to swing away on a 3-0 pitch. Got to make sure to play discipline, put it right where you want it, and he does. Gives him the green light. High foul ball in play. Galindo reaches up, makes the catch. Nice play by Galindo in foul territory for the third out of the inning. But the Highlanders push a couple more across the board. The damage is done. They're up 9-0 as we move to the fourth here at Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Gold Eagles. Playoff baseball on the Highlander Sports Network.
Highlander Nation, are you ready for your next dental appointment? Kacher Dentistry covers all the bases. We're located in the Woodlands, Texas, and proud supporters of Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry is a dual specialist dental office dedicated to compassionate, high-quality care. Their practice is unique because they have two separate sides of the office, one for pediatric and one for adult dentistry, so the entire family can be seen in one visit. Give us a call at 281-292-1605. Again, that's 281-292-1605. Or visit www.kacherdentistry.com to schedule your next appointment. And be sure to mention Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry, a home run for the whole family.
And we are back for the fourth here at Klein Forest. Home Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Eagles. Round two, Cash Clayton out for inning number 4. And Clayton working out for inning number 4. And fastball misses on the inside corner for ball 1. And pitch on the way. That is swung on, driven out to right field. Bourne retreats back, lost it in the sun, bounces over his head and gets to the wall. And that's going to be a double for Adrian Castillo. So a leadoff double for the Generals here in the fourth.
Over into plate number 1, Jay Cantu.
As Bourne he looked up and saw nothing but the sun in his face and had a hard time picking it up, and the ball was about 5 feet over his head. Takes a big bounce on the turf and goes all the way to the wall in a double for Castillo and brings up Jai Cantu. Batting from the left side. And that. So a runner at second here in the fourth for the Generals. He flew out to the shortstop Schmeckel. Curveball misses just high. For ball 2. As Clayton comes set, the pitch on the way. Swung on and tapped off the inside of the thigh. Caught him in the box, and he is down, goes Cantu. So it came right back off the turf and caught him just short of the no-no spot. And he's stretching it out. I don't know if that helped. Stretching out ain't going to help you out much. He's going to be using the soft toilet seat tonight. And Clayton ready to go. He's like, rub some dirt on it and let's go, man. As Chase Bradley's taken quite a few of those this season, 5 or 6 that I can think of. And here's the pitch from Clayton. That is swung on and right by a Sawyer Banks. They're having a hard time on the right side of the infield. The sun blaring in the face, and Banks was breaking to the left, and the ball was hit to his right. And they have runners at first and third now on the single by Cantu, and nobody out here in the fourth inning for the Generals.
Boy, the toughness of the kids staying in there. Take that and then lace a single to right. 2 on here.
And
nobody out here in this inning yet.
So runners on the corners for the Generals and nobody out.
Here comes Adrian Mata.
And the pitch to Adrian Mata, he's the pitcher now. Moved from third to the mound.
To the mound after replacing Jack Cantu. In the middle, that's third inning.
And the pitch from Clayton misses outside.
Runners in the corners for the Generals trying to fight back in this.
And Clayton sat the belt. The pitch on the way. Swung on. That is out towards shallow center, but another fantastic defensive play by Jack Fuller. The throw comes in.
Bring the run home for the MacArthur Generals.
And the runner at third, they're saying, and he didn't tag. I can tell you that for sure because I was watching him. He was about 3 feet off the bag. But with a two-man umpiring crew, you're not going to get that call because nobody was looking down there. The umpire in the field has to turn and look at the ball in the center field, make sure he caught it, and the home plate umpire, I think he was spectating. But no way he tagged. I was watching that play the whole way. They get away with one there and steal a run.
9-1.
And takes it to 9-1 on the fantastic play out there by Jack Fuller for out number 1. And a sac fly for Mata.
With a runner on first.
And Vasquez at the plate.
Cantu still at first.
And that's in there for a strike.
He's shaking out the pain.
So Cantu stays at first.
Double over just a little bit.
And the pitch from Clayton on the way. That is swung on and fouled straight back.
Straight back at least, excuse me. Foul back. The Generals trying to.
So the sun, you can tell, it's taken a toll on the Highlanders here this inning. It's gotten a little bit lower. And Clayton even struggling to stare into the mound or into the plate. That is swung on and foul.
Cash Clayton has been pretty much untouchable in this game until now. He shows a little bit of
And they're even dealing with a little bit of glare off of the bleachers as well as an issue. And that's right there on the outside corner. And gets the strikeout for out number 2 of Vasquez. And at strikeout number 4 on the afternoon for Cash. Brings up third base.
Jorge Moreno.
So Moreno comes in into the lineup in Mott's spot. And the pitch on the way. Catches the inside corner for strike 1. Pulls a slider into the dirt for ball 1. Evens it up at 1-1. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Generals got on the board. Put together a couple of hits. And then a sac fly out to center field. Shows bunt, gets it down, it's right back to Clayton. He steps, settles, and throws to first in time. And that's going to end this and take us to the bottom of the 4th as the Highlanders lead this one by 9-1. We're at Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Golden Eagles, Texas high school playoff baseball on the Highlander Sports Network.
Highlander Nation, are you ready for your next dental appointment? Kacher Dentistry covers all the bases. We're located in the Woodlands, Texas, and proud supporters of Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry is a dual specialist dental office dedicated to compassionate, high-quality care. Their practice is unique because they have 2 separate sides of the office, one for pediatric and one for adult dentistry, so the entire family can be seen in one visit. Give us a call at 281-292-1605. Again, that's 281-292-1605. Or visit www.kacherdentistry.com to schedule your next appointment. And be sure to mention Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry, a home run for the whole family.
And we roll into the bottom of the fourth here at Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Golden Eagles. They're hosting by district round 1 of the UIL Texas High School playoffs. Cash Clayton leading things off once again. I think this is the third time he has led off an inning for the Highlanders here in the bottom of the fourth. Highlanders leading 9-1 in this by-district game. We're playing 2 here today, trying to get ahead of the weather that's moving in tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. They're calling for some really bad things happening around this area on Friday and into Saturday morning. The pitch from Mata swung on high on the infield. Now they get to fight the sun as he comes in and looks up and makes the catch for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Mata here in the fourth inning, and brings up the catcher Chase Bradley for the Highlanders. If you're Highlander fans, you'd like to see a 2-spot put up here and then come on out for the 5th, pick up 3 outs, take a 30-minute break, and get game 2 started. And so Mata on the mound, he stares in. The leg, the kick, the pitch, and fastball in there for call strike 1 to Chase Bradley.
Pretty good job since he's been in here, alleviated the damage for the most part. He gave up the 2-run.
And the pitch on the way is at the knees, called strike 2 on Bradley. Bradley singled in the second, came around to score, and then flew out to center in the second. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. The pitch on the way, it's on the ground. The third baseman Moreno takes it, and the throw in time for out number 2 here in the fourth. And it's going to bring up Sawyer Banks for the Highlanders. 2 outs and bases empty. So Banks, right-handed hitter, he gets the call today at second base. I guess you hit a home run against your district rival, get yourself on the board, get you a starting spot in the next game. And the pitch to Banks is fouled straight back into the screen for strike 1. 0-1 is a count on Sawyer Banks with 2 outs, nobody on here in the fourth inning. And a pitch on the way, that is out towards left field and burns the left fielder, Vasquez. That gets all the way to the wall, and Banks is going to have an easy stand-up 2-out double. And he's 2 for 2 on the day. So a good call by Coach Eastman going with the hot bat, as he's got 2 hits on the afternoon for the Highlanders. He's at second with 2 outs, and Cash McWhorter at the plate for the Highlanders. And Mata set. The pitch on the way is a fastball, misses down and away for a ball 1 to McWhorter. McWhorter, a couple of singles today, scored both times. He's looking to give the Highlanders a 10-1 lead, or possibly 11-1. The pitch on the way, fastball misses high for ball 2. He's got to go in hunt mode right here, 2-0 count. Pick that pitch in your spot. This is a pitch where you've got to hit it out there onto Bammel if you're McWhorter. And gets a nice fastball, hits it the other way, but played exactly to perfection. Vasquez takes a couple steps, makes the catch for out number 3. That takes us to the 5th here at Larry Drown Field. Highlanders lead 9-1 by district round. UIL playoffs here on Houston Sports Network. Highlander Sports Network. And we roll to top of 5 here at Larry Drown Field as they are hosting this by-district round between your Highlanders and the MacArthur Generals. It's been our common opponent the last 3 seasons in round 1. And it's going to be for... So Robert Torres, Andreas Garcia, and Jaden Galindo. And the unintentional check swing gets it down. Fernandez go ahead and picks it up and makes the play as that ball was rolling foul. Torres wasn't hustling. He thought it was going to go foul. Fernandez jumped it and threw him out at first. A heads-up play by Johan Fernandez for out number 1. Showing off the athleticism. He's been at second base all season for the Highlanders. Gets the call at third today, showing off the arm and the athleticism. Fantastic play by Johan Fernandez for out number 1. Here in the 5th, and the fastball from Clayton misses outside for ball 1 to Andreas Garcia, center fielder for the Generals, batting from the right side. A little bat waggle, bat up around the shoulders, and fastball is in. Nope, doesn't get the call for ball 2. Takes it to 2-0. Clayton from the stretch, the pitch on the way. Slows it down a little bit, takes something off on the curveball, misses out on the inside corner for ball 3. And the pitch on the way. And fastball down the middle. An inning ago, the umpires were ready to go to the snow cone machine, and now all of a sudden they want to play baseball. That pitch was down the middle at the thigh and doesn't get the call for ball 4. And so a 1-out walk to Garcia. Puts a runner at first and 1 out. Brings up the catcher, Jaden Galindo. Moves Artemo Mata, the shortstop. He's on deck. And a slider from Clayton is in there for called strike 1 to take the count to 0-1. And the 0-1 swung on, missed. The throw is in time. Bradley once again, that's 3 for 4 out of the last base runners that he has thrown out. And he erases.
Good throw. Got him pretty easily. So that erases the base runner. 2 outs here.
So 2 outs now as Garcia is caught stealing. And beautiful slider from Clayton gets the call, strike 3. Nothing but Galindo could do except for look at that one and head back to the dugout. That's going to take us to the bottom of 5 here at Larry Drown Field with the Highlanders leading by a score of 9-1. This is playoff baseball here in Texas. This is the Highlanders Sports Network. And we move to the bottom of the 5. David Drissy going to be leading things off for your Highlanders. He flew out to right field back in the 2nd, reached on a walk, came around to score in the 3rd. Mata back out for another inning of work as we are set and ready to go for the bottom of 5. The kick, the pitch is a fastball, bounces in the dirt for ball 1 to Jurisic. Bottom of 5. Highlanders get 2. Game will be over, and we'll have a break and come back and have game 2 for you, as both coaches agreed to try to get these in before the weather pushed in. Coming in late tomorrow, then all day Friday and all day Saturday. So teams that haven't made adjustments are going to be scrambling over the next 5 days to get these games in. That's swung on and high in foul territory. Galindo under makes the catch. So not too many times you get to see the catcher make 2 putouts back to back.
Now batting the third baseman, number 12, Johan Fernandez.
And brings up Johan Fernandez for the Highlanders. He is singled in the 2nd. He singled in the 3rd. Both of those infield hits. And you figured the third baseman would learn from that, and he's playing deep and about 25 feet off the bag. And I would expect Fernandez to do it again. Oh, no, he's coming in. And there's a curveball that he floats in there for strike 1. The kick, the pitch is swung on and down the left field line and out of play towards the Highlander bullpen. And speaking of the Highlander bullpen, looks like Luke Peterson getting loose down there. So it looks like he's going to finish out game 1 if we go any further, or possibly he's starting game 2. And pitch on the way and misses on the outside corner, just off the edge for ball 1 to even up at 1-1. Or 1-2, sorry. The wind, the kick, the pitch misses down and in for ball 2. Now we're even at 2-2. 1 out here in the inning. So Highlanders get 2. This game will be over. If not, we're going to go to the 6th. The 2-2 from Mata. That is hammered up the middle by Fernandez. He's 3 for 3 on the day. 3 singles. He's taking kindly to playing over at third base. Sawyer Banks at 2nd. I think Coach Eastman might have found himself something there with that duo. Fernandez at 3rd, Banks at 2nd. And brings up Bryson Bourne. So back to the top of the order for the Highlanders with 1 out and a runner at 1st. Bourne 2 for 3 on the day, couple of singles, and curveballs on the inside corner for called strike 1. Oh, the umpires are back on the snow cone machine. They want their free snow cones, and that is off the right, off the hands. He goes up, inside out swing, and just foul down the right field lane. That could have been a lot of trouble, as the left fielder, Cantu, was shaded to the right center gap and had a long way to run to get that. That could have been a triple for Bourne if it got down, but it's a strike. Runs the count to 0-2 as Mata stares in, ball in hand, and set at the belt. The pitch on the way, runner takes off, and no throw, and Fernandez takes second base without a throw. So runner at second now and 1 out. And Bourne strikes out, and I'm trying to figure out how that happened, because that ball bounced about where the dirt and the grass goes together. But a strikeout it is, and out number 2. Brings up Romo. He's having a rough day coming off the IL. as he's looking to pick up an RBI and a hit here in the 5th. Pitch, that is ripped down the right field line and about 2 feet fouls. He got the barrel out just a little too quick on that one. And straight barreled that one just a little quick on the trigger. That's where you got to think for him as a lefty. You got to start thinking that left center gap. He probably would have put that one right at the right fielder. You slow the velo down. You got to really slow the game down, and it's hard to do at the amateur level. So the 0-1 on the way. That is hammered out to center, high in the air. Garcia calls for it, waves off, and makes the catch for out number 3, and that's going to take us to the 6th. Highlanders lead 9-1. You're listening to the Highlander Sports Network, Texas High School Playoff Baseball. And we move to the top of 6 here at Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Golden Eagles. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3 for the Generals. Artemo Mata, Adrian Castillo, and Jai Cantu. And Luke Peterson comes in relief of Cash Clayton as Clayton goes 5 innings. We'll get those numbers for you. I'll total that up for you. He goes 5. Couple of hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. And big swing Peterson. I've been impressed with him all season. From the left side, he has great movement, a 2-plane fastball with some sink and a lot of run. And that is swung on, lifted high in the air to Cash McWhorter out in left field, settles under and makes the catch for out number 1. And Peterson has a fantastic sweeper that he comes all the way across. He can drop it to the back foot of right-handed hitters. The changeup has great action away from a righty into a lefty. But that fastball cutter combo that he has to the lefties is going to be tough on these left-handed batters for the Generals, as that misses outside for ball 1. Peterson working from the third base side of the rubber. Puts a fastball right there on the outside corner. Gets the call to even it up at 1-1. Top of 6, Highlanders lead 9-1. The pitch, big sweeper, misses outside for ball 2 to Castillo. He doubled back in the 4th and misses the outside corner again. Runs it to 3-1. 1 out here in the 6th. Castillo at the plate from the left side. Lefty on lefty. And gets the curveball in there for strike 2. As that was a mixed-up pitch. As you can see, Bradley popped up. He was expecting something different. Got lucky on the call. The umpire gave it to him. And the payoff pitch is swung on down the left field line and foul. And that's going to keep the count full with 1 out. So Castillo grounded to the shortstop Schmeckel in the first. He grounded to second in the fourth. As he steps out for a quick reset, he steps in, taps the plate. Peterson working fast, the pitch. Big swing and a miss as he pulls the string on the sweeper for the strikeout. And out number 2 and brings up Jai Cantu for the Generals. He singled in the fourth and he flew out to the shortstop. Jack Schmeckel on the infield back in the first inning. 9-1's your score. Thanks for joining us here on the Highlander Sports Network. We'll be with you for as long as the Highlanders are in the playoffs. As you could tell, we're debuting our Diamond Cast, Highlander Sports Network. And pitch doesn't get the call. Runs a count to 1-1. Peterson working quick, the 1-1. Right there, he dots that outside corner with the fastball. And Cantu down in the count 1-2 with 2 outs. Peterson toes it up, gets his sign. The kick, the pitch. Swings and misses as he chases the fastball up in the zone. So 2 strikeouts for Peterson. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Highlanders. We head to the bottom of the 6th. They lead this by-district contest by a score of 9-1 here at Larry Drown Field. This is the Highlander Sports Network. All right, we move to bottom of 6 here, and the Highlanders up by a score of 9-1. So we're heading to into the bottom of the 6 here at Larry Drown Field. Game 1 of the doubleheader here today between the Highlanders and the Generals, and Coach Eastman has gone to the bench. Here in the 6th, get some seniors, some plate appearances. Mata back out to work, and that is on the ground to the third baseman. And grand play by Moreno over at third for out number 1 here in the 6th. So a great play by Moreno. And I'm trying to keep up with Coach Eastman's changes here. It looks like some of these guys are going to be some JV players, so you're going to have to hang with me as we get some of these names. These guys were called up for the playoffs. Counts 2-0. The line, the kick, the pitch is on the way. Misses down and away with the curveball, takes it to 3-0. And that will be a walk, so I'm trying to find myself a lineup that's got everybody's numbers on it. Coach Eastman has gone to the bench here on me. And a runner taken off. And so they steal second with a 9-1 lead. So John Weary at the plate. That was Canlis that's at second with the stolen base. So I'm trying to get caught up here on the changes as Coach Eastman is emptying the bench. These will all be re-enters. And Weary hitting for Clayton, and that misses high and inside to run it to 2-0 on Reary. One out in the inning and a check on Canlis, and man, he was almost picked off at second. So 2-0 is the count on Weary with Canlis at second. The 2-0 from Mata is on the way. That is swung on and out towards the right center gap. Garcia giving chase. He can't reel it in. Diving play. Bounces out of his glove as he hits the turf. And that's going to be a single for Reary. With one out, Canlis moves up to third.
Single brings to the plate. Number 10, the second baseman, Sawyer.
And we're going to have a courtesy runner. So Reary's going to come in and catch would be my guess for Bradley, or they just took him out and Bradley's going to come back in the game. Kind of, we'll see how that's going to play out. And that's going to bring up Sawyer Banks. So Highlanders up 9-1 here in the sixth. Runners at first and third. Runner takes off. And Jacob Beecher is running for Reary, the catcher. He just stole second. And that puts runners at second and third for the Highlanders. Sawyer Banks at the plate. A single and a double and a ground ball to the shortstop. Infield's in as the Highlanders are going for the kill here. With runners at second and third, a hit from Banks will seal the deal and end the game. 9-1, 2 runs makes it 11-1, and the mercy rule is in effect as we're in the bottom of the sixth. The 2-0 to Banks. Misses high and outside. Runs it to 3-0. And it's, do you give him the green light here, or do you sit and hold and take the walk and wait for Cash McWhorter, see if he can end it? Curveball is, he starts it in the middle and breaks it to the outside corner and gets the call for strike one. Nice pitch there from Mata. That's not a 3-0 pitch I'm swinging at anyways, so good decision there by Banks. Mata stares in, gets the sign. He's set at the belt, the kick, the pitch on the way. And curveball floats in just above the belt, doesn't get the call. And that's going to be a walk for Banks, and that's going to bring up McWhorter for the Highlanders. He's two for 3 tonight with 2 singles. And then he flew out to left, and this is going to get Coach DeFrant out of the dugout. Don't see a whole lot of movement going on here. And it looks like we got some action down in the Highlander bullpen still. Not sure if that's Sheeran or Greg. They all have blonde hair now. They're doing we're going to dye our hair blonde until we lose in the playoffs. So we're on that run right now. So they're hard to tell apart. And Cash McWhorter at the plate for the Highlanders with the bases loaded. 1 out in the inning. And a base hit will pretty much seal the game. And we're back and ready for action. Mata from the windup. The pitch bounces a curveball in the dirt for ball 1. 9-1 for the Highlanders. 2 runs come across. And we'll start game 2 30 minutes after the conclusion of game 1. Misses outside. Runs it to 2-0. The line, the kick, the pitch, swung on and fouled down the left field side and out of play for strike 1 to McWhorter. McWhorter at the plate. Jurisic's on deck. Anybody reaches? Fernandez. Fastball misses way outside. To runs it to 3-1. Bases are full. There's nowhere to go. A walk is an RBI, and a walk gives the Highlanders a 10-1 lead. The 3-1 from Mata on the way. Swung on. High fly ball. Foul territory on the third baseline. Marino under. Makes the play, kind of. And they're going to give it to him as he was trying to two-hand catch it. The second hand came off, and the ball kind of slipped out. I don't know. If I was in the MLB, I'm calling New York on that one to get verification, but he catches it for out number 2 in foul territory, and McWhorter is out on the pop-up. And that's going to bring up Jurisic. And, again, this is going to get Coach DeFrant out of the dugout and out to the mound. Not sure if we're going to make a pitching change here with 2 outs. And, yes, we are. And so we'll have a change for you. And some pieces are going to move around, and we'll get that for you. We'll be back after that takes place, and we find out who's going to be on the mound for the Generals. And so Robert Torres gets the call from the bullpen. He's going to come from first base. And it looks like that's just going to be a quick swap. Mata is going to go to first. Torres comes to the mound as he's finishing up his warm-up pitches. And I believe that was the last one. And it's going to bring up David Jurisic for the Highlanders. He steps up with the bases loaded. And the Highlanders leading by a score of 9-1. 2 runs come in, and this game will be over. And then game 2 will start 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game, or so. Jurisic at the plate. The pitch is swung on, and watch out in the Generals dugout as they all duck for cover. And strike 1 on Jurisic. 2 outs, bases loaded. 9-1's your score. David Jurisic at the plate. Johan Fernandez is on deck if the inning extends. The 0-1 from Torres on the way, swung on, and right at Marino. He takes a knee and snags the line drive, and that's going to end the inning as we head to the top of the 7th. The Highlanders lead 9-1 in this bi-district matchup between the Generals and your Highlanders. UIL playoff baseball on the Highlanders Sports Network. And we'll have a pitching change again for the Woodlands. That's going to be Xavier Gregg out of the bullpen. This bullpen call brought to you by Kacher Dentistry, our friends at Kacher Dentistry, your hometown Woodlands dental practice. They offer pediatric and adult services. Jump on in. Tell them I sent you by. That's me, Jason Greer, the voice of the Highlanders. And they can take care of all your dental needs all at the same time, the entire family in one visit. Stop on in and say hi to Dr. Jessica and Dr. John and schedule those appointments today. Thank you to Kacher Dentistry. As we move to the top of the 7th here at Larry Drown Field, home of the Klein Forest Golden Eagles. It's going to be Adrian Mata, Juan Vasquez, and then Marino, who came in to play third base. Back in the 4th inning when the pitching change was made and Cantu was lifted for Mata as they shifted things around in the Generals on their defensive end. And we are off and running. Gregg on the mound for the 7th, and fastball misses down and in for ball 1. Reary behind the plate. He comes in for Bradley to give him a spell. I'm sure Bradley will start game 2. And fastball misses down and away for ball 2. Runs it to 2-0 on Mata. Mata from the left side. Stands in, has the hands up around the helmet. Holds them high. And the 2-0. Fastball peppers the outside corner for a called strike and runs it to 2-1. Greg working from the stretch. He is set at the belt. The 2-1 on the way. Misses down with the fastball for ball 3. As Greg comes set, the 3-1 on the way, swung on, and that's on the ground. Sawyer Banks to second. He can't handle it. As it was coming off, the bat had a little bit of juice on it, and Banks had a hard time picking up the short hop as it spun out of his glove, and that's going to be a error on Banks, and we're going to have a base runner at first, Mata, for the Generals, with no outs here in the 7th, with the Highlanders leading 9-1. Juan Vasquez, left fielder, steps up to the plate from the right side. Slight crouch in the stance, has the hands a little low, and he swings and lifts one out to center. Fuller is on his horse, runs towards the track, makes the catch for out number 1. And it's going to bring up Marino. So Jorge Marino steps to the plate for the Generals from the right side. He moved over to third base, came into the game when the pitching change was made from Mata to Cantu. Greg from the stretch. The pitch on the way. Fastball right there for a called strike 1. As Greg, at this point, you just throw strikes, let your defense work. And Greg is set at the belt. The kick, the 0-1. Swing and a miss on the fastball on the inside corners. He ran it in on the hands and takes it to 0-2. One out here in the 7th. Xavier Gray came in relief of Luke Peterson, who came in relief of Cash Clayton. The 0-2 runner goes, and Reary got a little too excited too quick on the exchange and dropped it, and that's going to be a stolen base for Mata. He's at second now with 1 out. The 1-2 from Greg. Swung on. That's out towards right field, down the line, and slicing foul. And that's going to keep it at 1-2. As Bourne is as fast as, I'm trying to think of the guy's name that does the stunts, the Freeze. He's as fast as the Freeze. I don't think the Freeze would have caught that one. Greg set at the belt. The 1-2 on the way as he yanks a slider to the left-handed batter's box. Runs the count to 2-2. The kick, the 2-2. Swing and it misses. He got him to chase. And Reary has to complete it. The runner tries to take third on the throw, and he gets there in time. Does Mata. Nice heads-up base running by Mata. And he's at third with 2 outs now. As Marino strikes out for out number 2. Brings up the first baseman, Robert Torres. Swinging it from the right side for the Generals. Torres grounded to Schmeckel in the 2nd and grounded to Fernandez in the 5th. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Stands in with a wide open stance, and the pitch on the way, swing and a miss on the fastball for strike 1. Reary setting up outside. Greg, pitch on the way, puts a slider right into the middle of Reary, and he pulls the trigger and can't get to that as the tilt and break on that took it off out of the way of that barrel. runs it to 0-2. See, they're going to set up and throw that pitch again. The 0-2 on the way, and just that he does. And foul tips it into the glove of Reary for strike 3, and that's going to be your ball game as the Highlanders take game 1 by a score of 9-1. We'll come back with a player of the game, a quick wrap, as we will be heading into game 2 here in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to say 6:23, probably around 7 o'clock. They're going to kick off game 2. So we'll be back with a quick wrap and get you set for game 2.
Highlander Nation, are you ready for your next dental appointment? Kacher Dentistry covers all the bases. We're located in the Woodlands, Texas, and proud supporters of Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry is a dual specialist dental office dedicated to compassionate, high-quality care. Their practice is unique because they have 2 separate sides of the office, one for pediatric and one for adult dentistry, so the entire family can be seen in one visit. Give us a call at 281-292-1605. Again, that's 281-292-1605. Or visit www.txhsbsb.com to schedule your next appointment. And be sure to mention Highlanders baseball. Kacher Dentistry, a home run for the whole family.
And welcome back to the Highlander Sports Network's post-game wrap. Highlanders take this game by a score of 9-1, and game 2 is about 30 minutes away. They said top of the hour or 30 minutes, so kind of both is what it is. It's 6:24, so that puts you at 6:54 or 7 o'clock. See what they're going to do. If they're going to start a little early. They started game 1 about 7 minutes early, and the Highlanders get it done. Take game 1 by a score of 9-1. Game 2, they take game 2. They move on to round 2. They will face the winner of the Bridgeland and Cy Woods series. That starts up tomorrow if they can get those games in. So hopefully that gets done. As I said earlier, it always seems to be playoff baseball is the indicator that monsoon season should start here in South Texas, and it always becomes difficult to get these games in all the way to the end in June up in Round Rock. And so the Highlanders take this 9-1. Our player of the game goes to Johan Fernandez, moves from second to third. He goes 3 for 3 with some singles, picks up a couple RBIs. He's a run scored in the process and a stolen base. So Johan Fernandez, congratulations. You're the Highlander Sports player of the game. Game 2 in 30 minutes. We'll have everything set up and going. We'll kick that off here in about 20 on the stream. So thanks for joining us for game 1. Highlanders take it 9-1. We'll see you in about 30. That's it for game 1. We'll see you soon.